Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video, I'm going to answer some of the most common questions that I was getting regarding the Xiaomi Mi A1. And this is the Android One device that Xiaomi launched a week ago. And I have been testing this device now for almost a week. And in fact, when I was traveling to Australia, that is in Melbourne, I took this device. So I have taken a lot of sample shots also with this one. And yes, I've been getting a lot of questions. How does it compare with the Moto G5s Plus? So I'll also be showing you some camera samples later on, but first let's get on with the common questions. And the first question I got was from Samrat. He was asking, is there any physical LED notification light? How is the RAM management? And how is the quality of the camera compared to the Moto G5s Plus? We'll talk about the camera later on. But first, yes, there is a physical LED notification light on this one. It's a very tiny one and it is only in one color, that is in white color. But yes, physical LED notification light is there on this one. Regarding the RAM management, it has 4 gigabytes of RAM, and the RAM management has been done very well on this phone. While using this phone, I never had to actually worry about RAM management. That means the RAM management was done very well. So no issues regarding RAM management. Now moving to the next question. This is by Samir. He is asking, how is the call quality and VoLTE support, and how is it when you take the calls on the speaker? First, let's talk about the speaker. Yes, it has just a single speaker, that's a mono speaker, but the speaker is actually very loud. So no issues if you take calls via the speaker phone. And yes, it has the VoLTE support out of the box, so it works with GeoSIMs, no issues. And the cellular call quality was actually very good. I tested it with both the Geo and Airtel 4G, and I had no issues regarding receptions and call quality. Now, this is by Shafi. He's asking, how's the sound quality from the headphone jack? Wow. Here I have to say Xiaomi has done an incredible job. The audio output from the headphone jack is one of the best that I've heard. It's just amazing. It's not even comparable with many of the premium Android phones. It's just amazing. If you are a person who has good headphones, heavy headphones, I mean, you will love the sound output that you're getting from the headphone jack. In most of the smartphones, even very high-end smartphones with heavy headphones, for example, I have even heavier headphones than this one. This is the Audio Technica one. I have to always keep the volume levels at about 80 to 85% on most other smartphones, but on this one, even at 50% volume, it was way loud. So it can drive very heavy headphones, and the audio output from the headphone jack is incredible. So if you are a person who is very much picky about the sound quality via the headphone jack, just go and get this one. At this price point, I haven't seen such good quality from the headphone jack. Now let's move to the next one. This is by Tana. He's asking, does it have all necessary sensors? Yes, it has all the necessary sensors, including the compass, gyroscope and stuff. So don't worry about sensors. It has all the sensors, and in fact, it also has the IR blaster using which you can actually control the television. Again, I would suggest you watch the unboxing video for a general overview. There I've given a general overview of this phone. That should answer other miscellaneous questions that you have. Now moving to next, this is by Naveel. He's asking, I can see the Mi A1 as the step in the right direction. Do you agree? Yes, I feel the Mi A1 is a step in the right direction. Xiaomi has been producing phones for a long time, but they always came bundled with the Mi UI, which is slightly on the heavier side. And because of that, the Android updates that the Mi phones used to be slowed down. That won't be the case with this Android one, because Google is promising 2 years of update on this Android one. So I feel it's a nice initiative, and I feel it's the right move. This is by Siddharth. He's asking, is there the radio app? Sadly, there is no radio app that is pre-installed on this device. So sadly, no radio app. This is by N. He's asking, we saw that you're saying the camera is not good in low lighting. So is it good in outdoor in the morning light? Does the camera perform well? I've been getting a lot of questions regarding the camera on this one because it is having that dual camera setup. And Xiaomi was talking a lot about the camera in their presentation. So I actually compared the camera with this one, the Moto G5s Plus. I didn't complete that video. I was in the middle of that video, but here is a quick sample clip. I'll be posting a different video where I compare the Moto G5s Plus with this one, including other phones. But here is a clip that should give you an idea between the comparison of the camera between the Moto G5s Plus and this Xiaomi Mi A1. In natural lighting conditions, both of them do a good job, but notice the bridge. It has more color detail with the Moto G5s Plus. Here I feel both did a good job. But in this picture, the Moto clearly is producing richer colors, and also notice the sky. It has slightly more detail with the Moto G5s Plus. Here are some food photographs, and again, dynamic range is slightly better on the G5s Plus. Again, notice the brass. It has more color on the Moto G5s Plus. In terms of portrait mode, the Mi A1 did a good job, as you can see. If the lighting condition is good, it produces good results. But do note that in low lighting conditions, it will not work. This was shot in the hotel room, and as you can see, the Moto G5s Plus is a little bit yellower, but I feel that's the correct picture because the lights in the room were yellow in color. I also took some night shots, and here clearly the Moto G5s Plus, because of that monochrome sensor, is simply producing better results when the lighting conditions are very low. In slightly better lighting conditions, the Mi A1 came back. As you can see, again, this was decently lit, and I zoomed into this picture 200%, so you judge which one do you think is better. This was with the Mi A1 in the regular mode, but here I enabled the HDR mode. So enabling the HDR makes a huge difference, and I just hope Xiaomi implements auto HDR mode with a software update. So as you saw, the camera, particularly in low lighting situations and artificial lighting condition, it is sort of struggling, and I hope Xiaomi releases an update and hopefully it should fix things. Again, one more minor thing that I noticed about this camera is many of the camera phones that have that dual camera setup, for example the OnePlus 5, in video you can just press the 2x mode to get zoom, but that is not available as of now on this Mi A1. So anyways, moving to the next question. This is by Ayush. Does it have the security patch for September 2017? As of now, we didn't get the security patch for 2017. It's still on the August one. But I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks, we should get it. I'll update it via Twitter. Do follow me on Twitter. I'll update once we get the security September security patch. This is by Suren. He's asking, is it better than the Redmi Note 4? And I've got similar questions from quite a few of you. I would say in terms of battery life, definitely the Redmi Note 4 will give you slightly more battery life. With the Redmi Note 4, you can get about 7 to 7.5 hours of screen on time. With this one, you'll get about 6 hours of screen on time. Biggest thing about this one is that it is running that stock Android experience. So you'll get fast updates, and Google is promising 2 years of updates on this one, including security updates and stuff. And also in terms of camera, this is an improvement over the Redmi Note 4. This is by Dhruv. He is asking battery life and heating with gaming. I did not notice any heating issues while using this phone. I'm currently using it with my primary SIM, that is Airtel. So in regular usage, I haven't noticed any heating. Battery life has been surprisingly good. I was worried about the battery life because it's having 3080 milliamp hour battery. But as you can see from the graphs, the battery life has been good on this one. It can easily last for a full day. And in terms of screen on time, you should get about 6 hours of screen on time with this one. So in terms of battery life, I'm happy. But yeah, if you compare it with the Redmi Note 4, Redmi Note 4 will give you slightly more better battery life. But again, if you compare it with many of the other smartphones, the battery life is actually good, and it will easily last you for a typical working day. Sadly, Dhruv, I didn't do any gaming yet, so I can't comment about the gaming as of now. This is by Gautam. Does it have any optical image stabilization for 4K video? It does not have any optical image stabilization, and yes, it does not have any stabilization in 4K. So yeah, don't expect stabilization in 4K, and even in 1080p, there is no stabilization. This is by Venkat. He's asking, how is the stock Android different between Mi A1, Nokia 6 and K8 Note? The K8 Note is not running the Android One program. This is the phone that is running the Android One program. So Google is sort of controlling the updates. So you should be, it is backed by Google. That's not the case with the Nokia 6 and the K8 Note. Everything is not stock on this Mi A1, particularly the camera app is customized by Xiaomi, but apart from that, it's mostly stock. Camera app and the IR blaster are the two things that are customized by Xiaomi, but apart from that, it's almost stock. Between the Mi A1, Nokia 6 and the K8 Note, my pick definitely would be the Mi A1. This is by Gautam again. He said, overall, is this phone better than the Moto G5s Plus? I feel in cameras, specifically in artificial lighting conditions, this one, the Moto G5s Plus, as you saw earlier clip, was doing a lot better. So if you take a lot of photographs, indoor lighting conditions, artificial, this one will be better. But in terms of Android security updates, I feel this Mi A1 will go ahead, because Motorola these days is very slow with Android security updates. In terms of battery life, again, the A1 will go slightly ahead. As I've told you, you can easily expect about 5.5 hours to 6 hours of screen on time with a typical usage on this Mi A1. But on this Moto G5s Plus, I was hovering around 5 hours of screen on time. So this will give you 1 hour extra of screen on time. So again, it depends based on your requirement. In terms of in-hand feel, the Moto G5s Plus is slightly compact to hold. This one is slightly bigger. Many people were asking me, just if you or anyone has the iPhone 7 Plus, this one is almost the same dimensions as this iPhone 7 Plus. So this is by Umar. Is it better than the G5s Plus considering the camera, battery and overall performance? Does it heat up? No heating issues. Camera, as I told you, as of now in artificial low lighting conditions, yes, the Moto G5 Plus is doing better. But let's see with software updates, can Xiaomi improve it? I'm keeping my fingers sort of crossed. In fact, in one area I feel this is easier is in terms of portrait mode. I feel the Mi A1 is easier to do it, because on this Moto G5s Plus, it has that depth mode, that is the portrait mode. But when you click the shutter, you have to wait about 5 seconds for it to process. That's not the issue with this one. So if you take a lot of portrait mode photographs, the Mi A1 would be slightly easier to use. But again, the portrait mode works fine only when there is ample light. In a lighting situation like this in indoor and stuff, it will simply not work. This is by Vinod. Can this device actually be a competitor to the OnePlus 5 in terms of specs and performance? Vinod, no, sadly no. And I feel the Xiaomi did a wrong thing by comparing this Mi A1 to the OnePlus 5 or the iPhone 7 Plus. Those are just simply way more superior phones. As you just saw the clip earlier, in terms of camera performance in artificial lighting, it was not even able to compete with the Moto G5s Plus. So no way I think so it will compete with the OnePlus 5. The OnePlus 5 is another league. It has a way better processor, and the camera also on the OnePlus 5 will be better. This is by Ganesh. Does it have NFC? No, sadly the Mi A1 does not have NFC support. So guys, these were the common questions that I was getting regarding the Xiaomi Mi A1. If you still have any other questions regarding the Xiaomi Mi A1, do post your questions in the YouTube comment section below, and I'll try to include them in my main review. So guys, that's it for now for this video, and if you're still not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video.